to the Sumter School District Board of Trustees Policy Committee meeting. Please join me for a meditative thought, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. This meeting is now called to order. Once again, thank you for joining us for the Sumter School District Board of Trustees Policy Committee meeting. I promise not to keep you all here long this evening. We do have some business of the district to take care of, so we're going to jump right into it. This meeting is held in accordance with the Freedom of Information Act. The news media has been notified and a copy of the agenda has been made available to the public. This meeting is open to the public, but with limited first-come, first-served seating due to COVID-19. All persons wishing to attend the meeting by virtual means may do so via YouTube, Sumter Board Meetings, and Sumter School District's Facebook page. Vision: Sumter School District is committed to educating, empowering, and enriching the lives of all students to reach their full potential. Mission: Sumter School District is committed to providing a safe, nurturing, and high-quality educational environment that supports diversity and equips students for local and global success. Committee members is Brian L. Alston, Chairman of the Policy Committee, Ms. Cheryl Ray, who's joining us virtually, Dr. Gloria R. Lee, that's here with us in person. We're joined by our Superintendent, Dr. Penelope E. Martin Knox, Ms. Amy Hampson, our Administrative Manager, and I see joining us virtually on the call, we have Mr. Sam Myers, Executive Director of Operations. See, we have Ms. Stacy Francis, our Food Services Director, and Mr. Richard Phillips, our Science Coordinator here in the district. Thank you all for joining us. We're going to move on to the approval of the agenda. If there is no objections to the agenda will stand approved. Hearing no objections, the agenda stands approved. Consent agenda: if there is no objection to the consent agenda will stand approved as well. Hearing none, the consent agenda stands approved. We're now down to item.
Gamble just entered the
Who?
Zoom. Sure, Dr. Gamble from Crestwood. Dr. Gamble from Crestwood.
Okay. Dr. Gamble from Crestwood, one of our subcommittee members, has joined us. She's joining us virtually. We're down to item 4, review of policies and possible amendments. 4.1 is review of policy ADF, District Wellness Policy. Dr. Martin Knox, I will turn it over to you and your lovely staff.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Chairman Alston. Greetings to the members of the Sumter School District Policy Committee. This evening, we'll be bringing forward to you a policy ADF, which is the District Wellness Policy. While this is not a new policy, there are adjustments that need to be made to our policy to be in compliance with the expectations and alignment with food and nutrition throughout South Carolina. And so at this time, I have our magnificent, the one, the only, Ms. Stacy Francis, our Director of Food Services. So Ms. Francis, I'll turn it over to you at this time.
Good afternoon to everyone. As it's been said, I am Stacy Francis, the Director of Food Service, and on this evening I am joined by Mr. Richard Phillips, who participated on our committee, our CSHAC committee, for the wellness policy. And on this evening, I would like to just share a brief overview of the wellness policy. Wellness policy is an important tool that is authorities in promoting overall student health and wellness. The guidelines for the wellness policy provides assurance that school nutrition guidelines meet the minimum federal school meal standards. School districts participating in federally funded nutrition programs are required to have a wellness policy to receive federal reimbursement. Every 3 years, Local school boards are required to review and adopt development wellness policies as required by the final federal regulation of the Healthy Hungry Free Kids Act released in 2016. Our district wellness committee met, reviewed, updated, and revised the current district policy. We asked for the board's approval of the developed wellness policy at the board meeting on January the 24th. If you have any questions, you may ask me at this time. Thank you.
Before we take any questions, I just want to notify the public that Ms. Rosa Hilton has joined us virtually as well, one of our subcommittee members. Any questions? Ms. Ray, is there any questions from you? Dr. Lee, is there any questions?
No, no questions from me.
Ms. Francis, if I may, I would just say, today I did a little research on neighboring districts and their wellness policies, and I will say that thank you so much for you and the committee, because Sumter School District has one of the most thorough and comprehensive wellness policies out of all our neighboring districts. So kudos to you all for the work that you have done. And I saw earlier today you all shared a picture that said, better health equals better learners. And I know that this policy will help with that. So thank you again for all the hard work that you all have done.
Thank you for your support.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Well, there's no questions regarding the policy. We will move on to item 5, steps moving forward. If it is the will of the committee, we will send for first reading policy ADF, District Wellness, to present it to the board for first reading at its January 24th work session. We have consensus of the body?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, that's our only recommendation to the Board of Trustees at this time. We'll move down to 5.2, policies for further discussion by the policy committee. There's not any discussion at this time, but for further discussion, the policy committee will continue to review policy ACB, educational equity, and sample policy ACA and ACA-R equity, policy KLGA, school resource officers, policy KLG, relations with law enforcement authorities.
Mr. Austin, Alberta Bannister just joined the meeting.
And Ms. Bannister has just joined the meeting as well. If I can, at this time, just update Ms. Bannister on, we are sending policy ADF, District Wellness Policy, to the full board for first reading at our January 24th policy meeting. Full board meeting on the 24th. And we're now discussing policies for further discussion by the policy committee. And just to reiterate where we are with the further discussion is the policy committee will continue to review policy ACB, educational equity, and sample policy ACA and ACA-R equity, policy KLGA, school resource officers, policy KLG, relations with law enforcement authorities, discussion update of the Open Carry with Training Act.
And that's as it relates to churches.
And that relates to the church usage of our district facilities. The policy committee will begin review of the following policies at a future meeting. Policy GCC, professional staff leaves and absences, and policy GDC, support staff leaves and absences. Policy GCG, part-time and substitute professional staff employment and attendance policies. There's any discussion or any recommendations for further discussion of policy by the policy committee?
No.
Hearing none. We're down to item 6, the close of the meeting. I know we did this in record time, but thank you all so much for your attentiveness to this policy and making sure we can get it forward for first reading at our board meeting, excuse me. Once again, Ms. Francis and the committee, thank you so much for your hard work. Committee members, policy subcommittee members, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day. Please be safe in the approaching inclement weather. Be safe, and I look forward to seeing you at our next policy committee meeting. To members of the Sumter School District community, thank you for joining us this afternoon. Please be safe, and we'll see you. The meeting is now adjourned at 6:10 p.m.
Mr. Gilly, brief on me.